Okay, so we will start chapter 11, the Dharma Protection of the Earth Spirit chapter. As the title indicate, this chapter is like a general description of the well-being of the Dharma described in the previous chapters. So what the Buddha wants to indicate is in this chapter, there are a lot of beings or the spirits in the world that are trying to protect us. If you are trying to think of this Dharma, think of the Buddha, think of the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's name. And this is the general idea. And the important thing is those earth spirit is like they have great power and great well-being. So if they're there, if you memorize their name, it will make it easier if like you memorize if you know their name. So they can help you as needed when you're trying to protect this dog. So let's see. What honored one. Since a long time ago, I've reverently gazed at and prostrated to measureless Bodhisattva Mahasattva. All of them have great, inconceivable spiritual power and wisdom, and they all guide living beings far and wide across to the other shore. So, yeah, that's the general description of Bodhisattva Mahasattva, as we mentioned like a lot. So Bodhisattva Mahasattva is the being, like Bodhisattva means the being that want to reach Bodhi, which is the enlightenment, and the Mahasattva means the being that are great. So they have a lot of power, as described later on, inconceivable spiritual power and wisdom, and they have guide living being across to the other shore. And that's basically the meaning of the Mahasattva. So this is a good like summary of the Mahasattva's name. So among the Bodhisattva, Ksitigarbha, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, so what honored one, so has made like particularly profound vows. So Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva has great cause and condition with Jambodiva. Just Jambodiva is the word that we live in, just to remind everybody. It's the southern part of the entire universe, not entire, but this universe, what we call as the Great Southern Universe. So they're living here and they have great vow. What kind of vow? As we described earlier. So he had a vow to try to help all the beings across to the other shore. Like there's no hells, there's no hungry ghosts, there's no animals in the eventual Buddha's realm. In Ksitigarbha's Buddha's, like the ideal Buddha's realm. That's the original vow of the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. And that's profound. So the earth spirit make the comparison here. I don't know if you guys know the name of Bodhisattva Manjushri, Samantabhadra, Avalokiteshvara, and Maitreya. So those are like a few of the most famous bodhisattvas. So Manjushri is the bodhisattva that like most people refers to the wisdom bodhisattva. So if you like we mentioned last time, if you want to get a good grade on exam, just memorize the name of Manjushri because he's able to help you improve the wisdom. Because Manjushri Bodhisattva is the Bodhisattva that helping the Buddha propaganda all of the Dharma. If you go to the sutras, you will see Manjushri everywhere. Like Manjushri asked here and Manjushri asked there. Everywhere Manjushri. And the Samantabhadra is another Bodhisattva. So this Bodhisattva is important because of this is kind of like a abstract of all the Buddha's ideal body of the beings. So they have immeasurable well-beings, as the name indicates. Bandra means well-being, basically. It's another word for well-being. And Samanta, basically universal. So beings that like thinking of the Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, they have universal being. So every kind of well-being you can think of, they can be able like to get it as much as they want. So thinking about the name of Samantabhadra is important because that helps you reaching the well-beings that you want. And Avalokitesvala means like viewing everything. The word means viewing everything. And the translation is Guanyin, which is basically viewing everything, viewing the sound of the world. if you know the sound of each being, then you know everything. That is encouraging you to become a compassionate person. Like, don't be greedy as you like. I know. I think like we've heard that speech from Professor. I'm sorry, I forget the name. Laura.
Wait, where?
It's the time. It's a Thursday that we go to the.
You mean like this week?
Yeah, the Thursday.
Lisa Miller?
Yeah, Miller.
Dr.
Yeah,
Lisa.
yeah, Lisa Miller. Lisa, sorry, not Laura. Think of the wrong. So Lisa mentioned the important thing that the most, so according to scientific research, as she mentioned, if you want to do, like increase your, like improve your brain, the best thing you want to do is altruism. So helping others is the best thing that you can do. So that's the reason why Buddha mentioning, like try to have the name of Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva's name, like going everywhere in the world, especially in China, because altruism is extremely important. If you are able to attain that stage of helping others without like getting anything back, so just always thinking about helping others, you will achieve that stage of like you can be able to do anything without like letting others help you, but you still want to help others, and you will be like able to do anything. And that's basically one definition of the Buddha, able to do anything, the potential to do anything. That's the Buddha. And the Maitreya is the Mile, which is the translation in Chinese. And Maitreya basically means compassionate. So that's the eventual stage if you go through like Manjushri, cultivate the wisdom, and Samatha cultivate the well-being. And if you know everything, see all the problems, all the sufferings in the being, Avalokiteshvara, then you achieve the stage of the compassion. So mentioning those four bodhisattvas' names is extremely wisdomful, like mentioning them step by step. So they transform into hundreds of thousands forms of guiding those in the sixth realm of existence, yes, because that's in step by step, and it's important. But their vows still have an end. So he mentioned that, yes, although those bodhisattvas are extremely powerful, that vows, there's an end over there. But why Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva is powerful? Because Ksitigarbha has made this vows to like all the beings in the sixth realm of existence to help them teach and transform throughout kalpas and kalpas as numerous as grains of sands in the Ganges River, like hundreds, thousands, and millions of Ganges rivers. That's a huge number. Just to letting you know, he's already helping those beings in that amount of time. It's extremely long, so that's indicating Ksitigarbha's vow is extremely large and extremely powerful.
Kalpas like time.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. It's basically you can use like the modern time would be 200 billion years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to mention something very quickly. If you go back to the other one, I mean, we had mentioned this already, but in terms of iconography, you can often see like certain Buddhas and Bodhisattvas like with certain objects or utensils that they're carrying. So I think I don't know much about Samantabhadra or Maitreya, but I know that Manjushri is often depicted with like a sword, which he uses kind of like to cut through delusion, like stuff that's not truth. And I think it's a tiger, right?
Yes.
Usually.
Yeah.
And yeah, I actually had a question about Avalokiteshvara.
Please.
Because I think like bodhisattvas are also sometimes able to sort of like change their gender. Is that a thing? I think so, right?
Yes, yes, that's a really good question. So Avalokiteshvara, as mentioned, should be performed the body of the man, but normally, as you mentioned, they can transform the gender. If there are people who needs to be guided to across to the other shore, so they have to like perform a woman's body, yes, they will. And if they will have to like perform the hungry ghost body or the beings in the hell, that kind of body, they will perform that kind of body. Or they want to perform body of Indra, the devas in the heaven. They want to perform that kind of body, they will also do that. If they want to perform a body of animal, they will also do that. There's no specific form for those bodhisattvas because they know the causes and conditions behind every kind of being. If they know the kind of right? So everything in their mind, it's only the mind. They can transform their bodies through their mind. So they know if they want to be an animal, they want to be ignorant, and they want to cultivate a certain way of karma, and they just immediately use their mind to go through that trajectory, being ignorant and transform into that body. And if they want to be a deva, they will cultivate well-beings and thinking about like giving, make offering to the Buddha, make offering to all those beings, those people in like who are sick, who have to help, who have to be helped, and they have to keep precepts, not killing, not stealing, like all those things encircled in that pathway. They will think of that immediately, and because they know they have already been in that position for thousands, millions, Ganja sets, like kind of description of time. They know that kind of pathway. They will do that immediately. So they will be there and helping the beings over there. They will not be afraid.
Right.
So yeah, but a good question. So there's no strict form like saying Bodhisattva should be this, should be that. No. Good. Okay.
Yeah, they talk about it in yoga as well. Like after like many years of meditation, you're supposed to become like omnipresent, and basically like the gender is kind of like you have equal balance of female and male energy.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter.
Yes. So it doesn't matter if you are male or female.
Yeah.
But it's so for the just to keep that clear. So from the original karma to describe, female has more obstacles than the male. So only talking about the original karma. If people are not cultivating through this meditation process, there are a lot of obstacles over there because thinking about the blood is the key of all the beings, right? The blood is that circulating your energy. Just to use modern languages, blood will circulate the energy, but women, they have to like give birth to babies, so the blood will leaking out. That's the karma of women. So it makes it a little bit hard to go to that stage of equanimity. What do I mean by equanimity? You have to discard everything. So when the blood is leaking out, it's hard to keep that blood circulating all the time. So when we go to the precepts that Buddha is making, there are 384 precepts for women or the bhikshunis, the women practitioners, and there are 250 precepts for male, so the bhikshu or the practitioners, male practitioners. So for female, there are more obstacles, but if female can focus on the track, it will be more beneficial than the male because they overcome more obstacles. But it's a little bit hard, I understand. But the Buddha is trying to help. So there are more details. I've read through them, and yes, female will have to overcome more like mindful processes. But if you guys are interested, I can talk about that. But yes, that's the way of that work. The precepts, like it's not regulating you, it's helping. But good questions. Good question. Yeah. I've never heard of that question but that's a really good question. So continue. The earth spirit comes to the word honored one and say, I see living beings in the present and future who find a pure place in the southern part of the residence. Well, it's a good house, right? And build a shrine there with clay, stone, bamboo, and woods. Yes, a good house. With the shrine, they are able to sculpture and paint or use gold, silver, copper, and iron to make Ksitigarbha's image, so as the picture indicates. And they light incense, make offerings, just giving out everything, and reverently gaze and pay obeisance and sing their praises. Such people will gain 10 kinds of benefits around their residence. So the first thing is, so there are 10 kinds of residence if you do that. First, their land will be fertile, so they will be able to get enough food. And secondly, their family and home will ever be in peace. So there will be no quarrels, things like that. Third, their deceased relative will be born in the heavens. That's the third thing. And fourth, the living will enjoy and ever greater longevity. You will live longer, and they will obtain what they seek with ease. So you can able to achieve your vows with like no obstacles, and they will not suffer disasters of blood or fire, things like that. So nothing can bother you. And the seventh thing is the event that can cause depletion will be eliminated. So how to understand this one? It's like it's common nowadays. It's like depression and those psychological diseases can be considered as depletion. Buddha is using that word of depletion to like indicate all the things like mentally and physically, because there are also diseases like people have to stay on the bed for a long time. They cannot get up. Those are the things that are named as depletion, causing the energy to be depleted. So those events can be like directly eliminated just through make offering to the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, make obeisance to the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. And they will not have nightmares. That's a good one. And the nice one, they will be protected by spirits in their daily comings and goings. Now, this one seems like a little bit supernatural, but this is true because I've experienced that. So, yeah, it's a little bit weird to talk about, but that's true. And the 10th one is they will come across many causes of holiness. So what does it mean by causes of holiness? You will be able to practice. You'll be able to know what are the things behind you. So like, what am I doing? Why am I suffering from this kind of things? You will know that. Why am I doing like having those good causes, good results? Like I'm going to good universities, I'm going to good working positions. Why am I experiencing happiness all the time? You will know that. That is called the causes of holiness. You will know that. You will know everything immediately. And that is true because your mind is extremely clear when you are making obeisance to the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Well, that's the 10 good results. I know it's hard to memorize, but only thing you need to do just to burn incense and try to like look at the picture of Ksitigarbha and just think about Ksitigarbha, make a like just to be respectful to the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. That's the 4 simple things you need to do, and everything will come up, not immediately, but they will come up. I can assure that. Any questions? No. Okay. I know this is a little bit inconceivable, but that's true.
Yeah, good, true.
Yeah, it's a little too good to be true. But the thing is, do you guys remember when we talk about that in chapter 7? So when we talk about the bad causes, when people are having that bad thought, like this person hurt me, I want to hurt back. That kind of simple bad thought will cause you to do all kinds of bad things to that person. Like when people, like, let's say a simple example, when the professor gives you a bad grade, oh no, professor, give me a bad grade. I don't want to grade that professor good or grade my professor or no service. I don't want to give them good comments. Those kind of thought is to destroy other people's good faith. But if you try to think about it in another way, if the professor is doing those kind of bad things in the future, you transform that thought. I would do the opposite thing to my students. I would do the things that I would eager to see. So using those kind of good thoughts, like what the Buddha is describing here, make obeisance to those beings, Ksitigarbha, for example, Bodhisattva, that will make you go to the good causes. So only those small thoughts will help you like integrate all those kind of good reasons to become a good person. So all those 10 results sounds like extremely good, but they are still small. To be honest, they are still small. But they are the results that beings here are eager to see. So Buddha just described 10 results of them. The same. Okay, you can achieve this. You will have no disease if you think about Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Because after all the good thoughts, like I don't want people to get disease. So yes, I will try to practice. Yes, I will do meditation to help my mind comfort, it's being calm. I will keep myself healthy, not just don't keep up late at 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., things like that. Those bad habits will immediately get away from you. So those good causes are coming, like aggregate, coming all together, and immediately, not immediately, they will gradually come to the good causes. So that's the reason. But those will eventually come true. So that's the reason why the Buddha will assure every being, yes, they will come true. If you do those 4 simple things, they will eventually come true. So let's see the spirit, because we've mentioned those spirits will try to help, right? Let's see how those spirits will help. The ninth one is all the gods and spirits will help the people who uphold this sutra, who are trying to listen to this sutra, who are trying to like propagate this sutra. So the gold spirits, the earth spirit says, what are the one? If living beings in the present and future are able to make offering in their residence in such way, they will gain such benefit. What honored one? In the future, if there are good men and good women who have this sutra, simply. And this Bodhisattva's image and Bodhisattva's image in their residence, and who furthermore be able to recite this sutra, read this sutra, and make offering to the Bodhisattva, Remember those 4 simple things coming up again and again and again. I will always use my spiritual power to protect these people day and night, so that flood, fire, robbery, theft, all those different kind of major calamities, minor misfortunes, all those bad things will go away, because you're cultivating all the good thought. So your great spiritual power is seldom matched by other spirits. The Buddha is praised. The land of Jambudvipa is entirely protected by you. So the spirit is called the earth spirit. It's just the spirit that governs all the like grains, all the foods that we need, all the clothes that we gain, everything. And the grasses, trees, the sandstones, like the Buddha described, and the jewels, everything come from the earth because of the power of the earth spirit. So, moreover, you frequently extol the benefit deed of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Yes, virtuous and spiritual penetration are hundreds, thousands of times greater than those of ordinary earth spirits. So it's like the head of all the earth spirits. In the future, if there are good men and good women who make offering to the Bodhisattva and recite this sutra, as long as they cultivate and practice according to even one aspect of the original vows of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, you should use the power to protect them. Do not allow any disasters or like unwelcome phenomena to reach their ears, so much less for them to experience them even. So the Buddha is praising the power of the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's vows. Not only you alone protect these people, but Shakla, as we've mentioned, the god in the heaven, Brahma, yes, another god of the heaven, their retinues as well as other devas and retinues will also support you, or will also support them, and they will also support and protect from holy ones and verses such as this, because they are gazing reverently and making obeisance to the Ksitigarbha's image and reciting original vows of Ksitigarbha, but Bodhisattva Sutra, so the entire name. So yes, these simple things are coming up again and again, just to remind you. Try to make a visit to the picture and recite the sutra. So naturally, they will leave the seas of suffering and ultimately attain the bliss of nirvana. Therefore, they will receive great support and protection. In the end, you will see those pictures. Those people are joining their palm. So their mind are happy, they are smiling. This shows they understand everything in this chapter, and they will do that. So that's a normal ending, but it's not described here. These are the good things will happen. And this chapter is the short description of how those spirits are trying to help.
heaven in Buddhism similar to like heaven in Christianity? Like, is it the same kind of meaning?
Yes, similar to that, I would say, similar to that. So there are 10 good karmas, as was described a lot of times, like no killing, no stealing, and no sexual misconduction. Like, do not conduct anything other than the husband and wife, that kind of relationship, not anything other than that. And no forceful speech, and no divisive speech. It's like telling one people the truth, telling other people the false speech, just trying to destroy other people's well-being. That is not allowed. And also, do not say harmful, violent speeches. You're trying to hurt people's mind. Say, you are too bad. Things like that are not allowed. And the seventh one is do not use extremely beautiful words, like, oh, the word is extremely beautiful, like the lady is extremely beautiful because I see you wearing that kind of dress. But you know that is not true. You just want to praise them and make them feel a little bit good, but they're not like exactly. You want to avoid that kind of word. So avoid that kind of. And the eighth one is the greed, and the ninth one is the angry, and the ninth one is the 10th one is ignorance. Like, ignorance means you are not paying respect to the ultimate truth. You are focusing only on myself. The kind of views are what we call as ignorance. It's the restriction for you to go to that right path. So oppositely, being altruism, trying to helping others, things like that are what we call as the mindfulness, as people are using the word again and again. That's the good thing that we want to cultivate. Yes. So, but a good question. It's similar. So the benefit from seeing and hearing, chapter 12. Well, this chapter comes to the Avalokita Bodhisattva. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. So we will what's come. At that time, the world-honored one emit hundreds of thousands of myriads of millions of rays of great light from the crown of his head. So the crown of the head is those small, like, I don't know how to translate, but in Sanskrit it's Vushnis. It's the small balls on top of Buddha's head, and those are made of they are not
the consciousness.
Yeah, they're kind of like representing the consciousness, because Buddha is the extreme of the altruism, similar to the extreme of altruism, because the enlightenment is similar to what we call as altruism, because you can realize that at any time. There's no restrictions. So those Vushnisas, or the crowns of the Buddha's head, is referring to the ultimate truth. And after emitting rays of light, so there are all kinds of light. If you're interested, I can describe, but it's a little bit hard. So there are the light in colors of white, red, yellow, green, blue, and cyan, and 5 colors, like black, red, yellow, green, blue, and black. So those are the 5 colors that are composite of our bird, similar to the 3 primary colors, and including white and black. So those are just representing the world that we are seeing. So Buddha can emit those kind of light, representing the Buddha is realizing the whole world. So the Buddha is emitting all those kind of light just to let you know the power of the ultimate truth is able to attain anywhere. So after emitting all those kind of light and hearing the Buddha expounding the sutra of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, those human and the devas in the heaven, and also they're inconceivable beings. So on the matter of causes and for transiting to holiness, on matters of a time attainment of 10th ground. So, well, it's a little bit hard to describe. 10th ground. What does that mean? So bodhisattvas, in short, there are 10th ground for bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas, as we described before, they are the beings want to attain that body, as we mentioned, is the enlightenment, the ultimate truth. There are 10 steps. So when they attain to the 10th ground, basically it's already the same as the Buddha. But what they have to do later on is they want to go to different world, to go to different Buddha's world, and becoming the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, or what we call as Dharma Prince. So they will go to, so it's like the king and the prince nowadays in our world. The king will tell the prince, you go there and look at this village, look at that town, see what's happening there, and coming back, tell me what you are going to do to help those towns, helping those villages. So the Buddha will guide those kind of bodhisattvas at that stage of 10th ground and letting them know what to do. So by that kind of like hand-to-hand like experiment, what we call experiment, they will be attained that awake because they have enough internship. It's kind of internship for bodhisattvas. When they've done that kind of internship, they will become the Buddha because they know all the solutions that Buddha will do. So just to let you guys know, the next Buddha coming up in this world is called Maitreya. As we've talked about in the previous chapter, Maitreya Buddha will come like 5.2 billion years later. That's a little bit longer, but you can expect that 5.2 billion years later on, Maitreya will come, and a lot of beings now they have the kind of vow to go to that Buddha's world, because at that Buddha's world, beings will have 84,000 years. So the age is 84,000 years old. Not like now. People now only have 100 years old, right? The lifespan. But during that time, 84,000 years. So if you are able to be there, you will experience a long lifespan, and you will listen to the Dharma of Maitreya Bodhisattva, Buddha at that time, the Maitreya Buddha. So it's extremely good because we know there's a Buddha coming up in this world, and I encourage people to make the vow to see that Buddha at least. So you will be able to listen to their Dharma. And right now, the Buddha is trying to introduce to the beings about Avalokiteshvara, one of the famous bodhisattvas. What on the one? So the bodhisattva come up and ask, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva Mahasattva is replete with great kindness and compassion. Take pity on wrongdoings and suffering beings. So he transformed into thousands of myriads of millions of emanations in thousands of myriads of millions of words. Okay. Again and again, praising like has done a lot, and his virtues as well as the power of inconceivable, awesome spiritual penetration. Praising the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva again. And I have heard of all honored one and measureless Buddhas. So see the Avalokiteshvara. So she or he, whatever you want, has attained that stage of 10th round of Bodhisattva Mahasattva. And he will attain the eventual Buddha, like Buddhahood. He will become the Buddha in how long? Millions or billions of kalpas later. So, well, you can expect that. That's in one of the sutra. And yes, so he has heard a lot of praises about the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, and every Buddha is saying, okay, there are a lot of things we want to praise, but there's just not enough time for us to praise. And just now, the 101 has told everyone the great assembly that the wishes to extol on how Ksitigarbha's benefits beings and so forth, praising the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Oh, 101, for the sake of all living beings in the present and the future, please expound on the inconceivable matters of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. So now we want to talk about the most important thing. Why Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva would be inconceivable? Well, why there's a lot of power over there? And causes devas, nagas. Deva is the heavenly beings. Nagas is the dragon. And other of the 8 classes of beings, as we've talked about a little bit earlier, like humans and ghosts and everything like that. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. You have great cause and condition with the Saha word. The Buddha is praising the Avalokiteshvara. So if devas, nagas, men, women, spirits, ghosts, or any wrongdoing suffering things in the 6th realm of existence, heard your name, see your image, felt great love and admiration for you, or sing your praises. These beings definitely not fall back or turn from the unsurpassed way. So if you heard the name of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, you will not turn away from the ultimate truth, or you would not turn away from the Buddha's path. You will eventually become the Buddha. So they will ever reborn as humans or devas or the gods and experience excellent and wonderful happiness. So when the effect of their causes come into maturity, they will meet Buddha, and the Buddha will give them prediction. So the right hand on people's head, as the representation of the Buddha giving the beings or the monks the prediction. They're saying you will become the Buddha in what realm, in what how much time will it takes to become the Buddha. So that's the Buddha making prediction. And what's the Buddha's realm look like? So for example, when the Buddha is giving prediction to the Maitreya Bodhisattva, so it's talking about the word that Maitreya Buddhas is called the purely delight. That's the translation. So in that word, everything is purely delight, because of the original cause is Maitreya, or the compassion. That's giving us the hint. If you are being compassionate, the word you're building up is purely delight, nothing else. So now, replete with great kindness and compassion, the Buddha is continuing. You take pity on living beings, on devas, nagas, and others of the 8 classes of beings, and listen as I expound on Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's inconceivable deed of benefiting beings. You should listen attentively. I will speak on them now. Yes, one on one. I joyfully wish to listen. So why Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva is inconceivable? Now comes to the real answer. In various words, in present and the future, there are devas who have exhausted their heavenly merit. So this is an important sentence. Not only us, those gods that we've mentioned nowadays, like as we've noticed, the gods, like any kind of like Aryatara, I think that's one god that's mentioned when we go to the temple. So, and also the Brahma or the Indra, their merit will eventually exhaust it. And also for us human, our merit will eventually exhaust it. So we will end our life as human if we do not cultivate our well-beings again and again and again. When our merit eventually exhausted, what will happen? So the first thing, their clothing will become dirt. So for the devas, they live on the heaven, so their clothes are always white, as the color depict. So originally, their clothes are always white. Nothing will be on it. No dirt, no unwanted smells. They will emit the smell of the scent of the, what's the name of that flower? Yes, the lotus, and also what is mantra? Yeah, mantra. The mantra flower. But what's the question?
I thought it was sandalwood.
Yeah, and sandalwood. Yes, sandalwood and mantra flower, and yes, lotus, and there are different kind of lotus, like cyan lotus, red lotus, blue lotus, all those kind of lotus. So different lotus represent different kind of smells. It's extremely taste to smell those different kind of flowers. And secondly, their flower headdress will wilt. Yes, we've mentioned they have flowers on their dress. And three, they perspire under their armpits. So they will not have that kind of smell under their armpits, but now they have. And the fourth one, their body gave off bad odor, so they will smell bad. And fifthly, they do not enjoy their seats. So originally they will sit on the large seat because they've cultivated them reed. They will only sit there, and everything will come before them. Like when they want clothes, the clothes come before them. When they want food, the food come before them. Everything will come before them. But now things it's not the same. Things are not the same anymore. And they will drop into animals, hungry ghosts, and the hell. The same as human. But for us, welcome. So
Everything.
that's okay. Research tells us when the male female manifest these signs, if they see Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's image or her Bodhisattva's name, and they say Namo Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva Mahasattva, and they reverently gaze and make obeisance to him once, these devas will increase their heavenly merit, experience great happiness, and will not fall into those three evil paths because they make obeisance to the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Again, that simple action comes again. So that means this is an important action. So how much more will be the case for those who see and hear Ksitigarbha and honor him the gift, make offering, and burn incense, give the flowers, clothing, food, drink, jewels, and necklaces, giving all the things to the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Their virtuous merit and benefit that they obtain will be measureless and boundless. I understand Buddha is talking about this again and again. So that sounds a little bit boring, but this is just the Buddha trying to reinforce you. That is true. So furthermore, Avalokiteshvara telling the Bodhisattva, in various worlds in the present and future, when living beings in the 6 realms of existence are on the verge of death, so that's the important moment. If they are able to hear the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's name, remember this. If people are coming to the end of their life, when they heard about the Bodhisattva's name, what they will do, even if they heard the name was once, such beings will not undergo sufferings of going to the lower realms. So they will not be animals. They will not be hungry ghosts. They will not become the beings in the hell. No, that will not happen. Even in a single sentence, single verse of Namo Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. So how much more would it be the case if the person, like the relative, grow in the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva and make offering of their houses, their wealth, their jewels and clothes to the temple, to the monks. So by the sculpture, by the painting, if the sick one has not passed away yet, he will recover from that kind of condition of being sick. But if the karma is becoming extreme, so there are 2 cases. One case is they are still able to coming back. One case is they have to go. If they have to go, they will not fall into the bad places. If they are still able to coming back, they will come back because of the power of sculpture, because of the power of the painting, because of the power of making offering. And you will enjoy the good family, as the picture indicates. So, I think that's basically what this is indicating again and again. And yes, they were going, so this person karma, yes, that's what I've mentioned. I will go quickly and experience excellent, wonderful happiness after he departs this life. So if he has to go, they will enjoy the happiness. If they don't have to go, they will stay. So furthermore, Ksitigarbha in the future, if there are men and women who have lost their fathers, mother, brothers, and sisters during like infancy when they are young, under 10, they want to think about their family, but let's go quickly. So if they sculpture Ksitigarbha and they're thinking about the Bodhisattva Mahasattva's name, later on, they will see their relative and see where they go. This is simply what this is mentioning. And then through the virtue of the sons, daughters, and everything like that, if they make obeisance, and they will reborn as humans and devas, because if they've already fell into the lower realm, they will come back, as we've mentioned a lot of time, just try to draw a sculpture. If the relatives have been reborn, so let's say by the strength of their own merit, through the virtue, increase their causes and holiness, they will experience measureless happiness. And if furthermore, these people are able to gaze reverently and make obeisance to the Ksitigarbha, so for 3-7 periods, it's like 27, as it mentions, 21 days. I don't know if you guys do remember, there are seven periods. It's 49 days. People would, during that life cycle, after the death of the 49 days, yes.
We have trips to like every day for 49 days.
Yes.
So that they increase in karma and then they have a better life in afterlife.
Yes.
Like how you know how their karmas are counted in the like the gates to afterlife. You can like support them or give them more karma by doing like prayers for 49 days.
Yes. Thanks, Tenzin. That's important. So that 49 days is a significant life cycle for people to cultivate their well-being if they've already entered into the stage of death. So by that kind of time period, trying to help them by memorizing the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's name, sculpture the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, give all their wealth to the temples, to the monks. So that's basically what this is mentioned. Yes, and they will have food and clothing. Not only the death will benefit, the living beings will also benefit because they will have everything they want during their present lives, and they will not suffer from sickness. And the Bodhisattva will automatically place their hand on the crowns of the head and give them prediction. And furthermore, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, if there are good men and good women who wish to generate a mind of vast great kindness, so continue. If you want to practice, you make offering to the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, regularly gaze, make obeisance, similar things. So they will never be faced like hindered by any obstacles if you want to practice. But there's another thing. And again, let me see. If they're reciting Mahayana Sutras and generate inconceivable result and recite from memory, but they will often like forget what's on the sutra, like what do we do now? Some people, after I describe this, they will forget. I mean, that's the case. Sometimes it happens, but if you want to do that, you have to make obeisance to the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. The Bodhisattva will give you the power of memorizing the sutra, understand the sutra, and try to help you in the future. When you expound the sutra to others, you will be able to think about the details in the sutra. You will never forget. And there's a ritual. So there's a way of doing that. Yes. And let me describe, that's kind of important. Because if in the future you feel like, okay, I'm not good at memorizing, you can do this. So first, make obeisance to the Bodhisattva and place the pure water in front of the Bodhisattva. Then for 1 day and the night, so it's a day and night, 24 hours, they should come back and join in their palms and sing the Bodhisattva Mahasattva reverently and saying all the things that you want to do to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. And then drinking the water, try to make it slowly, as slow as possible. And there are things that you do not want to eat during that 24 hours, like scallions, alcohols, onions, and meat. definitely garlic and leeks. Those kind of things are the things that you want to avoid. Do not eat them. And then you will be able to recite the sutra because of the power of that event. The 24-hour of drinking the pure water. Oh, and also, yes, killing harmful speech, sexual misconduct, and stealing, those kind of things are what you don't want to do. So Bodhisattva Mahasattva will come and help you. You will be able to memorize anything. And finally, if there are people who are sick on the bed, yes, I know this is a little bit long. I will jump over this. This is just the iteration. You have to memorize the Bodhisattva Mahasattva's name. And if you are going on a long distance, you also have to memorize Bodhisattva Mahasattva's names for 10,000 times. 10,000 times. And I use this all the time. When I need to go to another city, when I need to go to Houston, I will memorize the Bodhisattva name for 1,000 times. No, 10,000. I do that. And it's helpful. So try to.
In the car?
Yeah, on the plane. Things like that. Just memorizing the name when you take the breath. Remember, like saying Namo when you're breathing, saying the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva when you breath out. That's the way of samadhi, of memorizing the Bodhisattva Mahasattva and Buddhas. Yeah, that's a normal practice one, but it's helpful. And also make sculptures when you experience like your child is leaving you in the future. If you have a family, you want to find your child, you want to make obeisance to the Bodhisattva and make sculptures. It's just similar things again and again. Yes. Now, I don't want to go to all the details. If you guys see any obstacles, go back to this chapter. You will see an answer. This is an important chapter because if you see an obstacle that you met, go back to this chapter. Buddha is already telling you all the answers that you need to do. And it's related to Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. And they're also related to the Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, because Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva is the Bodhisattva that the Buddha entrusts in this world to help us. So at the end, the Buddha says, Avalokiteshvara, you should know that, like through many of lands of Ganges says, and like all those huge words, if they can dedicate such merit to Dharma realm, if they are able to help other beings, make obeisance to the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, they will attain the thing that they want. That's all. Yeah, that's all.